this question using the types of abuse as a guide. So when we talk about emotional abuse, from what Solonyeka just said, she has explained what emotional abuse is. And now we're addressing the symbols on how to look out for signs of abuse. So because some people, because of where they are coming from, have normalized abuse. When you were raised in an environment where abuse was the norm, so somebody says something to you and you say, don't worry, homie, it's normal. So these people have normalized it. So for their sake, we are trying to say, these are the signs. When you see these things, it is not okay. Stop normalizing. My husband calls it normalized nonsense. We normalize everything. And we make it a culture and a way of life when it shouldn't be. So when it comes to emotional abuse and hoping that, and you know, when people are raised in a place where abuse was the order of the day, it totally affects their self-esteem and how they see themselves. So you will have to have worked on your self-esteem so much so that your emotions will trigger. There is something that will be triggered in you when somebody does something that is not okay. Because ideally, it is your emotions that you are checking. Your emotion is the yardstick here when it comes to emotional abuse. So the person's reaction makes you feel, one, unhappy, sad, less of yourself, inadequate, you know, like you're not good enough, like you're not appreciated, like you are worth nothing, or you're not at their level. These are the different emotions that people who emotionally abuse you can elicit in you, right? So however the person is behaving, the way they talk, even the way they relate with you, the things that are not said, the behavior, it makes you feel less of yourself. It makes you feel sad. So bringing it down to day-to-day action. So the person says, even as a joke, I know so you no go know this one. So what have they said? Right? And you find it not making you feel somehow. So that's emotional abuse. So your emotion is the guide. And because your emotion is the guide, you're also supposed to be careful so that you don't begin to misread things and even exaggerate things. And somebody does something out of innocence or sheer will, and you misread it and tag it abuse. So that's why you need to be at a very emotionally stable place to be able to pick which one is which. So if the person does not appreciate you, you are doing things and you're trying to go out on your way to make them happy, and they don't appreciate it, they even go ahead and keep criticizing it. So this person is too critical, is too judgmental in their actions. So you have made a mistake and they want to kill you for that mistake. They want to bash you with their mouth, with the words of their mouth, so that you can really feel guilty and feel bad and really feel that you did something. That's something to look out for. And when it becomes a normal thing, when it becomes a culture, now you will wait, and at the end of the day you may lose yourself. You won't even be able to recognize yourself. That's one way to check it. Now verbal abuse is what people tell you. So when people use the wrong words, when they curse you, when they call you name, all sorts of name calling, all sorts of guilt tripping, right, is about what they say. So you need to check that as well. Then physical abuse, that one is very glaring. It's very glaring. So it's about physically inflicting harm on you. So somebody hits you and you don't go giving excuses or condoning it. You know, there is this mindset that has simmered in a lot of young people, a lot of single people. Yesterday I was invited by the young wives of Cathedral Church of Good Shepherd Independent Layout. So the topic they gave me to talk on was on infidelity in marriage. And at some point I was telling them that when we talk about that men are doing this, men are this, and we tag men, try to demonize men, that men are the problem, we forget that these men are raised by people. And then we begin to look at who who is raising the men? So women are gathered here. How are you raising the boys in your home so they don't grow up and become the same thing you're complaining about? And there is no law. It's not about making them feel like they are this, they are that. It's about understanding that we sometimes, women, have enabled these things in our men by the things we normalize. So you hear women say that it is normal for a man. Me will tell you that men are polygamous in nature. What does that mean? We've accepted it. So you are that statement alone is enabling. So it has helped you not even to demand fidelity. So you see single people tell you that every man will cheat. So that ideology, she knows that even this man that she's going to go and marry should be cheating. Mm-hmm. So we condone it, we enable it, we excuse it by the things we do, by the ideologies we allow settle in us. So why do you want to accept that, and then tomorrow you come and start complaining that they are? You have said that they are polygamous in nature now. And what you're trying to tell me is that God that made man in his image and likeness decided to make people who lack self-control, and he made it and said it is good. So part of it is we allow these things to simmer, and even the men accept that they are polygamous in nature. Why? So why I brought it up is talking about physical abuse. You see people who accept that, yes, a man will be a man and you beat a woman to correct her.
Now let me just say something. I think there was one message we received where it's been long, where the guy was reporting and saying he usually sees dad beat his mom, and every time he confronts the mom to say that, mom, why would you allow this?
The woman will say,
is right. That's his way of showing
exactly what I was trying to say.
He loves her.
Do you see
so
that?
He tried that with his own wife,
and the woman said,
and the wife rebuffed and said, no, they don't do that in my house.
Where I come from, this is not how
we do it. And she reported to her own parents. So it was when the boy came to the parents of the girl to and the man was like, you don't beat my daughter. I've never raised a finger on her.
And he's shocked.
And he's shocked. I think he said, the man said, not even her mother. Mm-hmm. And he was like,
how is that possible?
But that's a sign of love.
That's the normal thing now.
Yes, my house. And
you see,
his reference was that the mom and dad lived together, that they didn't divorce, they did not separate.
You see,
so that's the mindset he has.
Exactly what I was trying to say. Do you get? So we have accepted some norms, and we just carry it, and we accept abuse. People see abuse as a norm, and that should stop. So you feel that if the guy is not beating you, he doesn't love you. That somebody told me that she's always looking forward to that beating because of what they will buy.
They love making.
Yes, and then because of the gifts that they're going to buy. So as they're beating you, she's just there happy and crying. You know that kind of thing. She's crying from the harm, but she's inside herself. I can't wait for the gift that's coming. So these are the things that as a young person, you're looking out for signs of physical abuse with the idea that it is not okay. And when you begin to accept this, even the men folk, we also know that the times are changing. You don't raise your hand on anybody. Talk more of a woman who you're supposed to be protecting. And now, we men, we are now the ones, by accepting these ideologies, enable it, excuse it, and then condone it.
What's the place of love in all this? Because
in abuse,
yes,
there's no place.
No, why I'm saying this is you have people who after perpetrating these acts, verbally abusing the person, physically abusing the person, emotionally abusing the person, still come back to say, I love you.
That's the problem.
The next thing is you have to stay, because love in quotes.
Even the person saying I love you, right, may also be a victim. Yeah. See, what I'm saying is not trying to attack any gender. I don't do gender wars because I understand that both men and women are victims of whatever has been done to us. But what we are doing is that we need to get to the place of awakening, knowing that this is not okay. And we begin to own our different respective stances and knowing that it's not okay. I can't remain where I am. I'm the man. The man must exert force and violence. No, it's not okay. Now the woman, this is how it is, is what was done. We need to get to that place where we need to do that. It's not okay. For the sanctity of life, of marriage, and the generations we're going to leave behind, we need to leave better legacies. So when you see a man or a woman, for instance, because this abuse we're talking about is not a gender thing too. Women abuse men.
Yeah.
Men abuse women.
Yeah.
Verbally, emotionally.
Yeah.
So
it's just that the women are more reported.
Regardless of who is the perpetrator, and the person feels sometimes, these people that say that they love the person and they are abusing the person, they may love the person actually. Because this is how they know to love. This is the love that has been modeled so far. So to them, this is love. So it's not because they are being wicked or they are being outrightly trying to get at you or to, yesterday I told them that we a lot of women believe that men are now demons. We have demonized men, that they are the demons sent to destroy our lives. No, they are victims just like one. But we need to start accepting that these things have gone on for too long and we need to start changing it. Don't be set in this ideology that I'm the man, I have to exert for. You're the man, like Christ. Understand how Christ modeled leadership and begin to do it that way, right? Now, if you're saying you love someone and you are exerting that your love from a stance of abuse because it is what you know, you can do better. You should do better actually. So you're knowing it now that this is not okay. So your love is supposed to be expressed. Love is gentle. Love is kind. Love is everything that love is. Love is not painful. Love is not violent. So if you have seen love modeled that way, you should begin to retrain yourself. Begin to rewire that thinking. Begin to expunge that mindset and begin to do things differently moving forward. It is not love. So if that's how you're expressing your own love, brother, you have to repent. Sister, it is time to repent, right? And then for women, for ladies, and for singles, this is a sign that this person is abusive. So they have beat you once and they apologized. And they're telling you, once beating, another beating is waiting for you, except you do something about that behavioral dysfunction.
So how do we deal with that behavioral dysfunction? Because we have a lot of young girls now getting married,
when you see
likewise young
people
men
exhibiting signs of violence, and you really want to marry them, you have two options. To just go ahead, ignore all the signs, marry them, and come out and tell us that men are this and women are that. Fear women after fearing God. After fearing this thing, fear women. Take 20 minutes and fear women. Some of the things that you see. Or you start telling us men are everything that they say that men are. Now, when you see these signs, please believe it. That is what it is. Take it just like you have seen it. And then begin to insist that this has to be worked on. It has to be worked on. This side of you, you are good, you are amazing, you are all that. But for this marriage, this is the picture of a marriage I want. But with this thing, we're not going to be getting this picture. And we need to do something about it. I really want to get married to you. But we need to work on these anger issues. We need to work on these emotional issues. There are anger management therapies. There are anger management courses. Pay attention. Be patient. You're not rushing to anywhere. Let them go through the process. If the person really wants to be committed to you for the long haul, they will do it. They will go ahead and do it. Insist. Whether you're the man or the woman, the lady you're about to marry has anger issues. In fact, some ladies are the ones that raise their hands. I had a client once that she called and said that this guy, I've been working with them, and on a certain occasion, she just called on the phone. And once I see her call at a certain time, I know that, okay, there is something. And that day she said, as I'm talking to you, ma, I'm just packing because I'm leaving. I said, what happened? That he raised his hand. He raised his hand, he flung it. The hand did not hit me, but this is the first time they are raising the hand. The second time it will land on my face. So for now, I'm going home. I'm going in. And I said, okay, let me speak with the man. I called the man's phone. The man said, Madam Moyini, it's a mistake. But I tried, though. The things that were coming out of her mouth, I could not bear it anymore. You know, I keep telling you that it's the thing that she says to me. She was saying it. In fact, the man was mentioning it, the things the woman was saying. And my ears were like, my ears were standing. I said, she said this one. Now. But then, I couldn't hold it. I now flung my hand. But she missed it. It didn't land on her face. But then she gave me 3 on my face. This woman did not give me that part of the gist. That after his hand missed her face, that her own hands landed on his face twice, 3 times. And she's the one moving to leave. Do you understand? So, when you see a woman exhibit signs as well, please believe it. Because one day, it will land on your own face. And you may not be the kind of patient man that will take a woman doing that. And you exert your own force. You may kill somebody. Both of you may kill yourselves. Your children may be around and something could happen. You never know how. So believe it and insist as well that see this aspect is going to hamper the vision for this marriage. We need to get it done. Before, the best time to get a marriage working or to make a marriage work or to save a marriage is before the marriage. Get started with the process and allow time to see that whatever was learned has been in. You see, to learn this thing takes a while. Be patient. It is better that you go through this journey and get into marriage with peace. And while you get into your marriage, you still keep working on it. You don't get there and say that you've arrived. So that is something you can do. Insist that, so that means you are paying attention to see the things that need to be worked on. You are not carried away with, have you eaten? Eat for me now. When will you now eat? Where are we going today? You are all about that. That period of dating is serious business. It's for interview. It's for serious conversations. And you are watching to see all the signs. You are intentional about the things to look out for. And when you see them, you are doing something about them per time so that you can create a good marriage, right? So if you need professionals to help walk you through the process, better pay for it. Better get professionals. Insist on proper premarital counseling because it's going to deal with all these issues. It's going to deal with all these issues. And if there are these things, it will be seen. And proper regimen will be suggested for both of you. You go through it. You go and get married peacefully. When people are shouting, marriage is this, marriage is that, both of you cannot relate because you are of a different breed. You did your own due diligence. So I think